Hey, this is Terry with Burlette Painting. So we're on our very final last step. We've now got final coat on everything. We walked around, we checked it out. All looks great, which I figured it would because we followed the procedures like you're supposed to, actually checking it out before your final coat. So our final coat is final. Everything looks good. So the very next step, which is actually pretty much our last step, is start cleaning up. So as you can see, we've already took the plastic off the windows and everything. We take the plastic first. After we do the plastic, we come in and we start peeling up our tape and our paper. So Mario here, he's already started. And a lot of times this is good for two people to work together. So what we're going to do with this paper here is we're going to fold it into itself and roll it into a ball. That way all this dust, all this paper, we're trying to keep on there. We're trying to keep on the paper. Now some's going to get off. I mean, there's no way you can roll this and not get a little bit flow out of it. But if you just go around and you start rolling it into itself, such as that, as you can see, the house, the floor, the windows, they look exactly the way they looked when we started this job, with no paint on them, no drywall on them. There may be a little dust. We've got a little bit right here. For the most part, there's very, very little dust. So after we go around, we peel up all of our tape. There's a little more tape. We want to peel it up. Once we go around, we get all this tape up. We're going to come back with the vacuum cleaners and the brooms and the rags, and we're going to wipe everything down. Sometimes when you have trouble with getting your blue tape up, we use these tools called 5-in-1s. Lightly get under it, peels it right up. Because we use all really nice high-end blue frog tape, it peels up really easy, especially if you're going to be on a job for maybe a week or so. Now, if you're planning on having it down for, say, 30 days, you may want to use frog tape yellow. It's for delicate surfaces. It's designed to be stuck for 30 days with easy release. This was a 1-week job for us, so we used the 1-week tape and just taped our brown tape to the blue tape. Here's a good example. We went around with the perimeter with the blue tape, and then we used the cheaper brown tape, but it's real sticky to stick to the blue tape and the paper. Even with drywall dust on there, it's got a pretty good seal. So, and this is the best way to do it. Now, some people, they'll actually skip this step here and not use the brown tape on the perimeter, just roll their tape out and put the blue tape just straight to the brown tape on the floor. The only problem with that is it's going to come up easy. So that might work if you're going to be on a job for one day with one guy or two. But if you're on a big job like this for over a week with 10 employees, you're going to want something that's stuck down a whole lot better. Also, another thing, if you notice how all of our vent covers we take off, and then when we cover these, we actually cover the paper, and here's a good example of that in here. We just fold our paper down into our vents like this. So what we're going to do is, now that we're at the end of the job, we're going to peel our paper up, get a vacuum. We vacuum all these out for the customer. Vacuum the baseboard, vacuum this. We even do the tops of the windows. Here's a place where we've already started taking the plastic down on here. So we're going to get wipes, wipe it all down. This is during the coronavirus thing, so of course we want to sanitize where we were working. Typically I'd be wearing a mask like my employees, but I am doing a video now. But yes, we're going to wipe them all down, and then once we're done with the wipe down, the cleanup and all that, the very last thing we do is come back and we put our face plates back on. This customer in particular is going to be switching out the receptacles and the plugs, so we're actually not going to be taking or putting the face plates on this job because she requested to leave them off. But typically on any other job, at that point is when we put on our face plates. now that once we finish all these steps and the house is completely finished, the house is completely cleaned up, we're going to talk with the customer, do a walk around. A lot of times I'll pull out a flashlight to really look at stuff good, shine light down walls, sure there's no flashing, nothing was missed. And once we finish our walk around with the customer, we settle up and move to the next one. So this was a interior job, of course, high end with natural trim and painted ceilings and walls. That was the quote for painting the ceilings and the walls. But as you can see, there's so much more that goes into these jobs than just painting ceilings and the walls, the covering, the preparation, the cleanup. These are the steps that I really like to emphasize because that is what makes a professional job a professional job.